Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Miles High Club podcast. I am your host, Miles. This is episode number 49. Can't believe I've made it this far. I hope everyone is good. Listen, if you're listening to this, I hope you're all good. I hope my voice sounds okay. If you're watching this, I'm in the summer house. It's currently 9 o'clock. It has been nothing but September sun for the past 4 or 5 days. Now, I'm not complaining about how hot it is in here because I moaned this time last week talking about we've still got a few days left of summer and we didn't really have a summer. Someone somewhere heard me, okay? Someone somewhere heard me say we haven't had a summer, come back and gave us what feels like 4 or 5 days of non-stop sun. I am thankful. Yes, I've had to spend the past few nights sleeping with the tower fan on right up against the bed. On top, while I'm on top of the duvets in my boxes just spread out. But you know what? Whatever it takes to keep cool. But yeah, this summer house is at the back of my house. And the way my house is set up, the front of my house is hot for the majority of the day because that's where the sun rises and heats up the house. And then the sun sets on my summer house. So it's warm. So if I look very shiny on camera, now you know why. I'm not sweating because I'm nervous about anything or I've just done any form of running. It's just really warm in here. Not a complaint. I appreciate the sun and the heat. I'm just letting you know. Also as well, today's Wednesday, so today's meant to be the last day of sun. I've checked the apps. It's meant to be thunderstorms for the rest of the week and then rain for the remainder of the year. Hopefully you've all enjoyed these past few days. We had a nice weekend. I managed to get some stuff in the garden doing. But like I said, I hope everyone is doing well. And let's just crack right on with the topics for today. Let's just make this one quick. There's a new variant. There's a new COVID variant out called the Mew variant. Not Mew as in the Pokemon, but Mew as in M-U. I want to say that's Moo, but they pronounced it Mew, not Moo. So there you go. But there's a new variant out. Apparently, according to WHO, the World Health Organization. Is that what it's called? I'm sure that's what it's called. It's not a cause for concern, but it's a cause for interest. Apparently, it's more transmissible than the Delta variant and the vaccination. It's resistant to the vaccination, so that whatever vaccinations have already been done won't work on the Mu variant. But it's not a cause for concern, it's a cause for interest. Let's see where this goes. Who knows? Maybe they're just dropping variants just to see how everyone reacts. And if they don't react the right way, we're like, boom, right, lockdown. Or if they react the right way. I don't know. I'm not going to conspiracize all of this. There's a new variant out there. Stay safe however you feel. However you find necessary to stay safe, stay safe. If that's through vaccination, go get vaccinated. If you are anti-vaccination, stay safe. That's all I can say. The first story for today's podcast is I think it's a happy one. I don't think I've covered it too much on this podcast, but Britney Spears' dad has filed to end the conservatorship that he has over her. If you don't know, because again, I didn't know any of this was going on until I saw something about Britney Spears on Instagram last year, maybe, or the start of this year, about her dancing and doing things on there. I have no idea what it's about. But basically, we all know Britney Spears, pop singer. She went quote unquote crazy. Back then, everyone thought it was crazy. But when you look back at it with fresh eyes, hindsight, and you think about a woman who's just trying to go out for food with her kids and she can't even do that without being harassed by paparazzi every living second of the day. Like, you're getting barricaded in shops by paparazzi. You can't move because of paparazzi. You're scared to leave your house because of paparazzi. You've got no privacy. Like, I've never seen it as bad as what Britney Spears got it. So then everyone called her crazy. They said she had mental health issues. Because of these mental health issues, she went into a conservatorship with her dad, which meant her dad basically controlled her life, controlled her finances, as in how much she could have, how she could spend it, where she could spend it. It was in charge of her health. So if she wanted to do something like go on the pill or come off the pill to try for a baby, it was all up to her dad. And then earlier this week, her father filed for a court petition to end the conservatorship arrangement that has controlled the pop star's finances and estate for more than a decade. Jeez, I can't imagine someone controlling I can't imagine someone controlling my adult life, never mind them controlling it for a whole decade. It's been a 13-year conservatorship. So it says the filing stated that the Oops, I Did It Again hitmaker sought to live her life as she chooses without constraint of a conservator or court proceeding, including making her own financial, personal, and medical decisions. So, I don't know which one of those comes out worse, but I'm sure she mentioned this in her documentary that I haven't watched yet. But finance, which means all the royalties, all the money she gets paid for whatever she's done or doing, she doesn't touch. It goes to this person. The conservatorship then decides how much money she gets, when she gets this money, and then, as if that's not enough, then decides when she can spend that money. Medical decisions, again, I remember hearing people talk about it, but just imagine if Britney was on some sort of contraceptive and then goes into this conservatorship. If she wants to come off this contraceptive to have a baby, it's up to that person to say, yes, she can do that, or no, she can't do that. She's not mentally stable enough to have a baby and raise a family. Even though she's already got kids, oh man, I'm not saying this is what happened to her. I'm just saying these are the things that can happen. These are the things that can happen. Apparently, Mr. Spears has said again and again, all he wants is the best for his daughter. If Miss Spears wants to terminate the conservatorship and believes that she can handle her own life, Mr. Spears believes that she should get that chance. I'm sure she's been saying for years that she can handle her own life and that she wants to come out of this. Having exposed his misconduct and improper plan to hold his daughter hostage by trying to extract a multi-million-dollar settlement, Mr. Spears has now effectively surrendered. There you go. So he tried to get a multi-million-dollar settlement as if to say, I won't be a conservatorship, but pay me all this money, even though none of that money is his, and rightfully so. He then tried to get them for money. It appears that Mr. Spears believes he can try and avoid accountability and justice, including sitting for a sworn deposition and answering other discovery under oath. Our investigation into financial mismanagement and other issues will continue. So, it might not be over for her dad. Maybe what's happened is, this is the Myles thought. I'm assuming what's happened is he's under this conservatorship. Britney came, I don't know necessarily about came out, but it blew up in the media, especially social media, about what was going on, about Britney asking for help. I'm assuming he was like, okay, look, we'll end it, just give me some money. They were like, nope, no way. He's probably feeling the heat from wherever, everywhere. And now he's like, you know what? Okay, well, let's just call it quits. I'll cancel the conservatorship. You stop all this. And their team's like, A week ago, the Gimme More Singers legal team, listen, she's called Britney Spears. Everyone knows who Britney Spears is. Why the Independent keeps referring to her by her song titles and then putting singer, the toxic singer, the Hit Me Baby One More Time singer. The Gimme More Singers legal team said her father demanded $2 million in exchange for stepping down as her conservator. Regardless of the past, Mr. Spears and his counsel are now on notice. The status quo is no longer tolerable, and Britney Spears will not be extorted. This is all from Britney Spears'. I see some of these things about fathers and daughters, and I just think to myself, there's no way I could do this. I think there was another one that came out recently. It's not a similar situation. I'm just thinking of father, daughter, or parents and suing. It came out recently with Rihanna. So, anyone that doesn't know, Rihanna's real last name is Fenty. Rihanna sells all these makeup products and whatnot, and they're called Fenty. Rihanna's dad, whose name is Fenty, apparently he was either trying to sue Rihanna for using his name, or he was trying to sell some stuff calling it Fenty. Rihanna's team was like, no. He's like, what the fuck do you mean? No, it's my name. Look, I gave her that name. It's my name. And all that happened, and then here we are. I say here we are today. I don't know what actually happened with the Rihanna and her dad one. I think it was all squashed. No one got sued, but oh man, it's what money can do between family. And I always think about it. This wasn't even on my topic list, but I'm just going off the head. If you guys won, if you won the lottery, if I had the option, if I win the lottery and I have the option, I'm keeping it a secret. I'm not letting them post my name, nothing. But I'm sure, I don't know if this is England or America or both, but I'm pretty sure in England, if you choose to stay, I don't actually know if you're allowed to keep it quiet, but if you do choose to keep it quiet, I'm sure you lose a big chunk of that money. I don't know how much it is. Let's just guess. Let's just say 40%. Let's say 20%. This is how greedy we are. We could win 10 million. Oh, I should have thought about this before I did it. 10 million. 20% of 10 million is nothing to us when we've still got the rest of that money. And even then I'd be like, no, it's my money. I could win 50 million. Do not ring my phone. I already know, like off the top of my head, I already know what family members I would be sending stuff to if I won money. Like if I won money, I'd be like, look, I've got money. Let me sort me out, put all this away, leave this big chunk. I'd be like, Mom, there you go. You ain't even got to ask. Yo, brothers, sisters, you ain't even got to ask. Some cousins, you ain't got to. Some aunties, some uncles, you ain't even going to ask. Not all of you. I don't have any animosity towards any of my family members. I'm just saying, I'm not going to be splashing out money for every single person. I got a big family, you know. I'm from one of those black families where my dad had multiple children from multiple women. My shit spans far and wide. I got family and cousins everywhere. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love big families. When I bump into people that don't have a big family, I'm like, what did you do as a kid? Like, I know some people that have got no brothers, no sisters, one or two cousins, an auntie, and that's a nan and a granddad, and that's it. I'm just like, huh? Like, you got no aunties or uncles? Nope, my mum was an only child. I'm an only child. Oh, you don't know what you've missed. That is boring. I don't know if I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. If you are planning on having children, I think it's selfish only having one. Now, if it's medical reasons or serious financial reasons that are preventing you from having a second child, then that's that. There's no way of arguing that. But if you're someone that just had a baby and you're like, oh, we could have another baby, but I don't want to, that is selfish. Do not raise a child by themselves. I'm not saying all only children grow up to be weirdos, but if I was to spend some money and time and investigate this, I feel like it'd be a high percentage. Like, I think we should check serial killers and find out how many of these serial killers were only children. Like, what's the percentage of sibling to only children? I need to know. I feel like there's a connection there that I may or may not have just made. Who knows? But yeah, that was Britney. Sticking with music, this was a weird one. So in 5 days from now, it will be 25 years since Tupac died. Today is 3 years since Mac Miller died. To rest in peace, Mac Miller. But yeah, it'll be 5 days. 5 days from now, it'll be 25 years from when Tupac died. And Tupac's car, the car that Tupac was in when he got shot and died, is now up for auction, and it's up for auction for $1.7 million. Why? What? Who would want to buy that car? And then after you answer me who, because I don't think it's hip-hop fans. I don't know if a hip-hop fan's that big of a fan that they'd want to buy the car that one of hip-hop's greatest artists died in. Or if he didn't die in the car, he was shot in the car, which led to his death. I don't know why anyone would want that murder vehicle. I was watching The Breakfast Club, and one of the DJs, DJ Envy, was on about putting it in a museum. And I was like, if we had a hip-hop museum, maybe. But then again, why do you want to link things to trauma so much? Like, if I was to walk through a museum, I was like, oh, this is the first microphone that such and such used, and this is the first deck that such and such used, and this is the microphone that was on stage at the Source Awards. This is the red carpet that the first hip-hop artist... All of that, yeah. I don't know how I'd feel start walking down like Death Alley in a museum of this is the car that Tupac was shot up in. I was like, okay, why is it here? Like, I don't know what to do. And the only way I can think of anything good coming from this, and I'm pretty sure it's not, who gets that 1.7 million? Like, if this was Tupac's car, who do the proceeds go to? The government, the police, some randomer. I don't, all I'm saying is I don't believe it goes to his family. I don't know I don't know who would want to do this. 2, I don't know who the hell is selling it, and why you think you're going to get 1.7 million for it. So apparently the car has been restored to its original condition. The bullet holes have been repaired. That's another thing that I know I've just said who would want to buy it. But if you are some weirdo out there that wants to buy the car that Tupac was shot in, wouldn't the whole point of buying it being, oh, these are the bullet holes, like this shit passed through Tupac, and that would make more sense. This has literally been restored to its original condition. The bullet holes have been repaired, and now the BMW is on sale and on display at the Celebrity Cars Las Vegas showroom, which is not far from where Tupac was actually killed. It's not the first time the vehicle has been on the auction block. Back in 2017, it was being sold at an asking price of 1.5 million. No one wanted it. And then it went up to 1.7 million in 2020. So it's still up for auction now. I don't know who would... It's like one in the car that JFK... Yeah, the car that JFK was shot in. Who would want that? I don't get it. I don't get it. Moving on with that, still within music, Drake has finally dropped Certified Lover Boy. Drake's, I don't know what number album this is of Drake. He's dropped it. And it's another Drake album. Hold on, I'm going to get up on my phone all of Drake's albums and hopefully I can put them in order, but it's just another Drake album. That's the only way I can say it. That's the best way I can explain this. It's another Drake album. What do I mean by that? It's meh. Okay? If you're asking me and I'm being honest, I think Drake's album is meh. Let me go through all of his albums. So Drake's first album, official album was what? 2011. That was Take Care. Take Care is a great album. Take Care was a great album. It's people say it's a classic. I used to think it's a classic. I couldn't actually tell you the last time I went back to listen to a song off Take Care. Don't get me wrong. I was in college when Take Care came out, so I was loving every last bit of Take Care when it was out. So I understand what it did back then. And there are some Marvin's Room. There are some great songs on there. I just haven't been back to listen to Take Care in a very long time, but I'd still class it as a great album, a classic album if you want to say that. Nothing Was the Same. Nothing was the same. I still been drinking on the low. That's 2013. That's me just coming out of college. That was a good album. I liked Nothing Was the Same. And then to me personally, his last really good album, if you're reading this, it's too late, which dropped in 2015. His first three albums, great albums. After that, Drake had hit superstardom. He'd hit his peak. He's the most popular rapper out. He's done everything, or he was doing everything, breaking records, setting records, and then breaking the own records that he set. But after that, it was all just, what was it? Views. Views had a few good songs on there, but there was a lot more. I think there's a lot more songs that I'd skipped than I would actually listen to on Views. Then after Views came More Life. Again, I bumped More Life a couple of times, and I don't think I went back to it after it shortly got released. What came after More Life? Was it Scorpion? Yep, Scorpion. Is Scorpion's the double disc one? Yeah, so Scorpion was it? I'm literally looking on here at all his albums now, but yeah, it was Scorpion. Huh. What a Time to Be Alive. Oh no, What a Time to Be Alive. That was a joint one with Future, so I'm not counting that. Scary Hours there, or EPs. The Care Package, they were EPs. So Far Gone and Thank Me Later were mixtapes. Dark Lane demo tapes. Yeah, so Scorpion was the last one. Scorpion to me, what Drake should have done is they should have been two separate albums, not a double disc. And even then, the rap side, I enjoyed the rap side, but there's 4 or 5 songs that I probably still listen to now. A lot of them were skippable back then. The R&B side didn't really do it for me. Like Drake had a song with Michael Jackson. Before people think I'm not a Drake hater. Drake is in my top 3. My current top 3 goes Kendrick, Drake, and it was J. Cole, but I'm really tempted to put Benny the Butcher in there now. But it was Kendrick, Drake, Cole. It may be Kendrick, Drake, Benny the Butcher. But anyway, so I'm not a Drake hater before people are listening to thinking, oh, he's one of these people that hates Drake or thinks I do not hate Drake. I don't think I'm too cool for Drake. I know Drake makes good songs. Okay? Drake makes Drake albums. Then they're nothing, like Drake doesn't do anything new on his album. He doesn't do anything mind-bending. He doesn't do anything game-changing on his album. I was listening to a podcast and they were reading a tweet someone sent out. And they were like, Drake could have dropped Certified Lover Boy in 2013 and dropped Nothing Was the Same now, and you would know no difference. Like, he doesn't rap about world politics or what's going on in the world. Right? He doesn't rap about anything current. It's Drake. He just raps about getting his heart broken, breaking hearts, and not trusting these other niggas. That's literally what Drake raps about. Every single album. His music is for women and young, impressionable men. That's what I think it is. Young, impressionable men that think, oh, if I upload a picture and drop this Drake comment, I might get a few likes. And women, because Drake makes music for girls. Girls love all that singing shit. They love the way he talks. Again, for me, when Drake raps, like when Drake's rapping, when he's rapidy, biggest fan. Is it 7 a.m. on Brindle Path? Hold on, I'm getting the song titles up now. It's not showing me all of his songs, but I'm sure it's 7 a.m. on Brindle Path, and that's the best my best song on this album, and it's one of the few songs on this album I do not skip. Again, I don't know what the music isn't shit. I should start by saying I don't think. Oh, there's 21 songs. No wonder I find this shit boring. That's long. There's 21 songs, 21 boring songs. Hold on, I'm going for it now. I'm looking at Girls Want Girls, a Little Baby. That's okay. Love All. I only listened to it for Jay-Z's verse. I'm looking 7 a.m. on Brindle Path, and You Only Live Twice with Lil Wayne and Rick Ross, and Lil Wayne goes the fuck off on that one. 7 a.m. on Brindle Path. If I want Drake to make an album with that, anytime Drake puts a date and a time in his songs, that boy raps like there is no one out there that can touch him. This 7 a.m. on Brindle Path was nuts. But this is what happened. I listened to Certified Lover Boy when it dropped. I was listening to it as I was doing stuff. I was working away at the start of this week. So on Monday, I said to myself, look, I've got a 2.5 hour drive. Put Certified Lover Boy on. Listen to it all the way through. No skips, regardless. That was the biggest struggle I ever went to. I listened to it all and thought, it's okay. I was like, I went back through and I was like, let me skip through to my favourite songs. I skipped through. I got to 7 a.m. on Brindle Path. I said, this is one of the best songs Drake's done in a long time. He's rapping. And then I remembered there's no other songs on the album where he's doing this. So I had to turn that off. Flicked over to Kendrick Lamar, Damn. Played Damn. Not one song off Damn gets skipped. Okay? Kendrick raps from the get-go to the very end. Not comparing them. I get it. Kendrick is a rapper's rapper. He is a rapper. Drake has said it more than once. He is a pop star. Okay? Drake makes pop albums. He makes pop music. It's popular music. Drake has to hit all these different, because Drake's such a big international artist, he has a big wide audience. The people that like rap like Drake, people that like R&B like Drake, people that like hip hop like Drake, people that like pop like Drake. So he literally gives everyone a bit of everything. But to me, his albums are never outstanding. It's the past 4 or 5. I just went through them. The past 4 or 5 albums from Drake have just been. They've been Drake albums. It's been full of good music, but it's also skippable music. It's music that if you was at a barbecue, you could put on in the background and people would vibe. If you're at a kickback or a chill or like a house party, you could put on any Drake track in the background and people are going to vibe. You on a long journey in the car, everyone's talking, you want to put some background music on, put Drake's album on, it's fine. But when you want to for me, when I want to sit down and listen to music and hear some lyrics and hear someone rap, Drake's albums are never going to do that for me. They're just never going to do that for me. It's just some of the songs that I'm just like, I've heard this song 1,000 times. That's what I think. That's what it is for me. Certified Lover Boy, every song, even 7 a.m. on Brindle Path, it's fire, but it's, 6 a.m. in Toronto? Drake does this, okay? Every time I hear a Drake song, I'm like, it's good, but I've heard it before, Drake. I've heard Drake do this exact same song before. But again, he's on point. He's going to outsell Kanye. I'm sure that's the battle that he wants to win. He will outsell Kanye, or he already has outsold Kanye. One of the two. Congratulations to both of you lot for releasing your album. I am with the many people out there who are pissed that the beef between Drake and Kanye ended up meaning one of the best verses I have heard in a long time, spat by Mr. Andre 3000, Andre 3 Stacks himself. didn't make it on the album. I don't know if it was because the song wasn't cleared or if it was because Kanye decided to diss Drake on that track and then was like, I'm just not going to put it out. But somehow Drake got his hands on this track. He leaked it on his radio station. Everyone heard the Andre 3000 verse. What seems like the first verse from Andre in about 5-6 years. The last time I heard Andre, I'm sure was on a Rick Ross album. I could be wrong, but that's the last one I remember on. He was on a Rick Ross album. And I'm not even a music podcast, but this podcast has been, I say full. It's been quite a few bits all evolving around music. It's been a big week for music this week. What can I say? It was all around music. We've had festivals I've been back in. You've got more festivals. Meat Mill's in Birmingham next week. Dave's in Birmingham next week. Everyone's touring. I don't know if I'm not going to go to them. I like Meat Mill. Don't think I like Meat Mill enough to go to a concert. The only concert I can see myself going to in the foreseeable future, and that's only if it happens, would be a Kendrick Lamar concert. I'll do a Drake concert. That might be it. I'll do an R&B one. I'll do some Rihanna, some SZA, anything like that. But in terms of rappers, I don't really care to stand there and listen to a rapper at their whole concert unless it's Kendrick. And that's the only one I want to see that I haven't seen. Kendrick and Hove. Saw J. Cole, my boy Alex, a few years ago in Birmingham. That was good. But no, I need to see Kendrick now and I want to see Jay-Z. And then I don't need to go to any more musical concerts for a while. I am good. But off that, let's talk about what's on the box, the weekly segment where I talk about what news, TV shows or movies I have been watching this past week. I haven't watched What If. I wish I'd watched What If episode 5. It's apparently the Avengers get infected by a zombie curse and it's up to the non-infected ones to save them and find a cure. That sounds interesting. Can't wait to see that. But I did make it to the cinema before I found any spoilers to watch Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I'm looking now, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8 out of 10 on IMDb. I agree, this is an 8/9 out of 10 film. What a great film. What a great film this was. So, Shang-Chi, I need to work on how to do this whole review a movie in a minute or two before I talk about it. So Shang-Chi is based on it's a guy who's living out in, I think it's San Francisco. Basically, a guy living out in San Francisco, he gets attacked by some men sent by his dad. His dad is the Mandarin who's the boss of the Ten Rings. His dad trained him to be a killer when he was younger. We see Shang-Chi, he gets jumped by a bunch of people. He gets a pendant stolen from him. He realizes the pendant that's been stolen from him was taken from him by his dad. He's like, they're going to be going after my sister. So then he flies back to Macau in China to go find his sister who runs her own underground battle league where you see Abomination and Wong fighting. Shang-Chi ends up having to fight his sister. He refuses to fight her, loses. She's like, I'm doing good without you, bro. You told me you were going to be back in 3 days. You didn't turn back up till 6 years later. So she was obviously pissed, but it turns out she didn't actually send him a letter for him. He had a letter who he thought was from his sister giving her address. It wasn't, it was from her dad. So he could get them both in the same place. They get attacked again. The fight kicks off. Shang-Chi's about to kill or beat up someone really bad anyway. His dad stops it, welcomes them home, brings them home and says, I've sent for you two. I've let you run around for 10 years. I'm bringing you back now because your mom is calling for me. She's being trapped in Tao Lo, which is her home place. We need to go there and free her. Obviously, the children don't believe him. They head to Tao Lo and beat him there to warn the others that he's coming. He comes, there's a fight. The demons, these little demon things get released and start sucking people's soul out. That then releases a big demon which ends up killing Shang-Chi's dad. Shang-Chi, his sister, KT, played by Awkwafina, and the Great Protector, a massive dragon, end up fighting back against the dragon. No, against this demon soul sucker thing. They defeat it, send it back. That's Shang-Chi. I don't know if I've explained that well enough to make you go and watch it. But here are all my reasons why you should go and watch it. One, it's for a Marvel. It doesn't feel like a Marvel movie, okay? From start to finish, it doesn't feel like a Marvel movie. To me, it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. The only time it felt like a Marvel movie is when you see Abomination and Wong, and that's because you know them to be in the Marvel universe. But they don't try and flood Shang-Chi with a bunch of Marvel references. Like, no, we get it. It's a Marvel film. Play it us. That's one. Number two, it's a dope story. I personally didn't find it predictable. So, for example, when Shang-Chi's dad comes back and gets him and his sister, and he's like, there is something holding back your mum. We need to go there and free her. I thought, oh, I know what's going to happen. The kids are going to agree. They're all going to go over there. It's going to turn out that he lied to help. He lied. He just used him to help them find Taulo. And now they're going to have a massive fight over there. And that's not what happened. They didn't believe him. They went ahead in themselves. So I thought it was a really, really good story. And it didn't get too, for me, it doesn't get too jarring. I find it jarring when you're watching a movie and they keep going back to flashbacks. All the flashbacks that are in Shang-Chi are necessary and they happen throughout. So it's not like a random thing that happens. But like it starts with Shang-Chi and Katie driving around in a car because they're valet. They do valet. And then it goes back to like you see him training as a kid with his mom. There's a flashback of his dad meeting his mom. So his dad finds this Taulo place, the place of hidden mythical creatures. It's guarded by his mom. They have a fight. She disarms him even though he's got the 10 rings. Sends him packing. He then comes back, not to fight, but he brings back food, ends up charming her. They fall in love. Because they fall in love, she leaves Taulo. She leaves all the magic behind. They wouldn't let them into Taulo because of him. So they move out into China. He puts down the 10 rings, raises his family, only to have his past catch up back to him. And then his wife gets killed by, I think they're called the Iron Gang. This makes him put the 10 rings back on. And then this is when he starts raising Shang-Chi to be an assassin at the age of like 7. And then he sends him out to kill someone. He sends him out to kill the guy that killed his mom at like the age of 14, which is why Shang-Chi runs away. So Shang-Chi goes on the mission. He does kill the person, but instead of returning home to his father and sister, he runs off to America and lives a life where he changes his name from Shang to Sean. The highlight of this movie, for me, the fight style. The fight style throughout this whole film is fucking amazing. Like, the one criticism I always see of fight, and that people I have as well, of fights when you're watching a Marvel movie, is the cuts. If you don't know what I mean, go back and watch any Marvel movie. Every fight scene, the camera cuts to a different shot every 2 to 3 seconds. So you'll watch a fight scene go on for about 15-20 seconds and you'll have no idea who's winning the fight, who's getting the best blows in, because the camera cuts every fucking time a punch or a kick or something is thrown. Not in this. There's the first fight we see, which is on the bus, which has got dope camera work. There's one camera work where it shoots right down the bus. There's another camera bit where it shoots from the outside of the bus and you can see him fighting his way through the bunch of people. And the fight scene on the bus is dope as well. Beats up 3 people and then has to fight Razor Fist, which you've probably seen in the adverts with a big arm knife thing. Then has to fight them all together whilst on a moving bus that's got no brakes. Such a good scene. One little gripe I have about this scene, and the one time it does start to feel like a Marvel movie, is the jokes. So when they're on the bus, there's a comedian on the bus and he starts recording the fight. The first time he speaks is quite funny. He's on a bus, a fight breaks out, no one's life's in danger, ha ha, hee hee. As the fight goes on and as the bus loses its brakes, as it's crashing into stuff, as it starts to split apart and fall and split into 2, this guy is still constantly making jokes. No, at some point you would have stopped filming and you'd have been in fear for your life. So that, it took me out the film just a little bit. And then I'd say from then on, they got the comedy bang on. If you've seen Iron Man 3, Ben Kingsley's got a character in there, Trevor Slattery. He's the one that plays the Mandarin, but it turns out he's not the Mandarin. He was just an actor hired by someone else to pretend to be the Mandarin. He's actually back in this, and it gets explained to you that the real Mandarin, who we know as Shang-Chi's father, he obviously heard about it. He then went over there to kill everyone for taking the piss. As they went to kill Trevor, he says he started acting at Macbeth. They loved him, so he now gets kept in a dungeon and he performs shows for them once a week to keep all the guys entertained. Him and this little Chinese chicken pig headless flying creature sort of thing. Them two, from like halfway through the film to the end, every time they get involved with comedy, it is bang on. There's even a bit of the scene near the end where the massive fight scene's going off. People are dying like it's a serious fight scene. And the pig thing sees Trevor lying on the floor and runs up to him. And then he literally just waits and goes, I'm acting dead. You better get down here and join me. And then the pig thing just rolls on its back and plays dead with it. It just worked. For me anyway, it just worked. There's the fight scene between Shang-Chi's mum and his dad. And they're using, it reminds me of a mixture of Airbender and watching classic martial arts movies. Like watching this fight, it took me completely out of Marvel. And I honestly thought I was watching a $100 billion production of a martial arts movie. It was like martial arts poetry just blended into one. The fight looked amazing. The scenery was amazing. The way it was shot was amazing. Everything about it. And like I said, every fight from then on, all the fights were clear. You could see who was fighting. You could see what was going on in the fights. They weren't cutting. They don't do what some movies do, like Venom, where they put all the fighting in the dark, so you can't really, it covers up the CGI and you can't really see anything. No. All these fights were near enough in broad daylight, nice and bright, so you can see it. It's a really, 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 really good movie. Go and watch it. I would suggest everyone go to the cinema and watch Shang-Chi, especially coming off the back of Black Widow as well, because Black Widow was just, it was a good movie, but there was no stakes to it. Like, we already know Black Widow's dead. We never heard Black Widow reference anything that has happened previously after Civil War. So when we find that it's set after Civil War, we're like, well, Black Widow doesn't mention anything. She doesn't bring anyone, doesn't mention anyone. She doesn't have anything new. So that movie was just we dropped the ball and never made a Black Widow movie. And then DC have made 2 Wonder Woman movies and we've only ever focused on the men. And then we did Captain Marvel. So we should really give Black Widow one because she was there from the start, or from Iron Man 2 at least anyway. So no, it was too little too late for Black Widow. And then they had the end credits to try and recover it a bit as well. But no. But Shang-Chi, brand new story, brand new character, brand new environments. Like, there was, from what I can think of, we don't go anywhere in Shang-Chi that we've been before in any of the MCU. So we don't revisit any old places apart from Macau. But it's called Macau, and I'm sure in the fighting league where they're fighting, I'm sure that's different from Madripoor, which is in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But there you go. I can go down a really big hole when it comes to Marvel, anything Marvel. I love it. And then, so that was that. So Shang-Chi's out. I'd give it 4 out of 5, 8.5 out of 10. I would give it all of that. I'm just searching now for the next movie is The Eternals. I'm just trying to find a date for when The Eternals is actually meant to drop. So this year, we've still got The Eternals left and Spider-Man. The Eternals. I'm trying to find a date. I haven't got a date. I'm sure The Eternals is next month anyway. I'm sure The Eternals it's either October or November. And then Spider-Man No Way Home is in, what's it called? December. So we've still got 2 more Marvel movies to come through. I don't know how many. I think there's 10 episodes of What If. So we're halfway through the What If series. And I'm pretty sure there's a Hawkeye series that's meant to be dropping later this year as well. If you're new to the podcast, yes, I'm a Marvel freak. If you're not new to the podcast, you're probably sat there thinking, Miles, I thought you were a Harry Potter fan. I am still a massive, massive Harry Potter fan. But Harry Potter's not releasing new things what feels like every month. Since last year, we had the lockdown. The lockdown has stopped everything. Since the lockdown has eased up, we've had WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, What If, and we've still got more to come. I can't wait. But thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode of the Miles High Club podcast. Next week's episode is 50. It's 50. It's half a century. I don't know if I should do something for it or if I should just wait a couple more weeks and then do something for my 1-year anniversary, which I believe was the start of October. But in like 3 weeks' time, I'll be on episode 52, and I've done 1 episode a week and haven't missed a week. So that's 52 weeks in a year. So I need to work out. I'll do it on the year anniversary when the first episode went up, I think. But 50 is still a big one, so I might do something. But again, if you've made it this far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Head over to the YouTube channel, Miles High Club Podcast, and subscribe. If you are watching this and you're thinking to yourself, where can I listen to this more instead of watching it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Deezer, Stitcher, anywhere you want to listen to a podcast, you can find me. I've been Miles. This has been the Miles High Club podcast. Thank you all so much for watching / listening. Until the next time, peace.